This single comment brings me pain. Look at this, it was from 4 years ago. Now, Jonathan, I love the games, I love the series, but I am just going to lay out all my frustrations down on the table. It started off with Super Cat Bros. There's not much to talk about this game, it's just a nice fun little game. But then along came the prequel, Super Cat Tales 2. I know it's confusing, but Super Cat Tales 2 is the prequel to 1. It came out and introduced a story. And it was not just a story, it was a really good one that made so many people interested in it. It introduced so much lore and world building. And for this video, I really recommend you should watch my movie of all of the cutscenes in it. I think it's a really good video to explain the story behind this game, and it will help you to understand this video as well if you're new. Although the thing is, it started off really good, but then it just ended on basically a cliffhanger. It left so many things out for the future. At the end of Super Cat Tales 2, all of the cats were grouped together and they were going to take a vacation because they just beat the main bad guy. But actually not. They never actually did defeat the main group. In fact, the main group was now led by Captain Lace, a probably even stronger foe for the future. And there would also be another storyline of the PAWS team, which was a team of cats way back in the past that would fight more bad guys. Going into Super Cat Bros, they would lose Luna, one of the cats that would hold one of the crystals that balance the world. And after these two games were completed, it would look like we would finally go into the future and continue the story. But then we took a step back. 1 year ago, another prequel came out. It was about a group of cats, the PAWS team, fighting a completely new set of bad guys. It would have less cutscenes, and even though there were a few small things like seeing how the cats most likely created the robots, and how Captain Lace used to be a cursed human who would later turn into a robot himself, it was all pretty cool and interesting, but there was still way more in the future. Speaking to the developer himself, we can find out that this game isn't even performing that well. Now, the game itself is the best of the whole series, but the storyline is the worst. Like I said, the first two games are promising so much for the future, and now we're just taking another step back. I mean, why do we need to have a new team of cats to play as? I thought this was supposed to be Alex and his crew's story. And how would Alex even be able to know all that would happen in Super Cat Tales PAWS? It seems like very important things to know. I think it would be way better if Super Cat Tales PAWS would end up smaller than it's supposed to be. It was originally planned to have 6 worlds, but I think it should have way less and wrap up everything faster so that you can go back to the main story, and after you make Super Cat Tales PAWS, you should start making Super Cat Tales 4, which finally wraps up the story. Super Cat Tales 4 would already have everything laid out. It would continue after Super Cat Bros, where all of the cats find each other except for Luna. So Alex and maybe Shinji and Ollie would go and try to find her on their own. During their trio adventure, they could find out that Luna has been captured by the Tin Pirates and Riggs. And then what I think would be one of the best world ideas would be to have a world that is stuck back in time, where you can go back and revisit the PAWS base, things like that. And this would be where Alex and his crew find out about the past of the PAWS team, Captain Lace and Riggs, and why he is evil. And then after they go through that, Riggs could actually potentially join their team. I think that Super Cat Tales 4 would be what everybody would want, because it would continue the stories of the lore of the crystals that hold the world in balance, and hopefully our group of protagonists could finally beat the Tin Pirates. That would wrap up most of the story of Super Cat Tales 2, and it would also leave room for more potential sequels if the creator really wants that. So, Neutronized, this is my call to action for you. You've been complaining about how Super Cat Tales PAWS isn't as much of a moneymaker as Super Cat Tales 2 is, so I think the best thing thing to do is wrap up the whole story quickly. Just get everybody back what they want, which is the main story of Super Cat Tales 2. I've spoken out to a lot of people and apparently they all agree. And in fact, if you think this video is mean, I've heard people that say that the whole series needs to be entirely remade. But this is it. This is my last stand. And subscribe.